So you're thinking about investing in pharmaceuticals. Now, so today we're going to talk about Novartis. Now, when it comes to the pharmaceutical industry, there are a lot of aspects to it. I mean, you could look at pre-stage or preclinical trial drugs. You can look at manufacturers. You can look at distributors. I mean, there's so many different aspects to look at it. So in this series, we're going to focus on companies like Novartis, some of your bigger players that actually play a role in multiple phases, where they actually participate in pre-stage clinical trials. They also participate in the development of late-stage trials, also manufacturing and distribution. Now, like any stock review that we do, the first thing we like to start off with is looking at what problems do they solve. So when we look at Novartis, we look at their segments, and the first segment is their pharmaceutical segment. Now in their pharmaceutical segment, which is probably the largest part of their revenue base, they are solving problems related to, heart disease, transplantation. They are in the area of arthritis. So when you look at the list of the types of problems that they solve some very big problems that a lot of people have. And then you can see some of the brands that they offer. And then when we go and we look at the next level of problems that they solve in the area of oncology, so which simply means the area around the treatment of cancers and other related, like I say, blood disorders in that category, which is a very important topic. And so again, Novartis is solving a problem that is very important and that a lot of people are faced with. And then the third segment that we look at is Sandoz. Now, Sandoz is also a generic pharmaceutical product. Now, what we do know and what we do have realized is that there are a lot of people who are looking for alternative pharmaceutical options to the name brands. Now, because we know that the name brands can be expensive and some people are looking for a generic option. Well, Novartis actually plays in that market when they bought this segment, Sandoz. So again, they are solving a problem that a lot of people have. And when it comes down to the actual product, I give it an A because yes, they are solving a big problem that a lot of people have. Now, the next thing we like to look at is we like to look at the financials and really dive in to see, okay, all right, what do the financials look like? So let's take a look at their financials. If we look at their financials, one of the things that immediately jumps out is that they have pretty solid revenue performance. Now, as we all know, the pandemic started to, I guess you say, take place maybe a later part of Q1 is where a lot of companies started to see the impact from COVID-19. But when we look at their financials, what we see is that they've been able to still manage to hold pretty consistent revenue. Now, they did see some dip in their revenue, but they had pretty consistent revenue performance. And then more importantly, when we look at gross margin, because gross margin is their ability to control their internal costs. And when we look at that, what we see is that they've actually improved in 2020 versus 2019. Which shows that they're able to manage their costs well and they're able to generate a profit from the sales. And then as we continue down and we look at, their operating profit, again, a thing that jumps out to us is that they've actually been able to reduce the cost of running their business to actually keep the business more profitable, which is a great sign for them. And then when we also look at their cash, because when it comes down to a pharmaceutical company, cash is a very important thing because they have to be able to invest in the future. They have to be able to invest in new technology, new advancements. They have to invest in marketing to inform the market. I mean, because think about it. Have you ever seen a pharmaceutical or a medicine treatment commercial? There is a lot of research that has to go in to actually being able to educate and inform people about what this drug or what this thing does. So they have to spend a lot of money in that area. And so you want to make sure that they have a consistent cash balance. Now, what we have noticed is their cash has gone down when it comes to 2020. But when we look at their operating cash flow, it appears that they are able to generate positive cash flow, which means they're able to run their business in a way that they can really self-fund. So when we look at their cash, I would definitely say that they're doing a pretty good job when it comes to the area of cash for this business. So when it comes to the financial performance, I would definitely give this area an A as well. Now, when we look at the part of the company that probably is the most important to you is how are you going to make money? And with a company like Novartis, because they are pretty established, they're probably going to issue a dividend, and you want to look and see, okay, how much can I expect the stock price to go up? Well, when we look at the time of filming this, what we can see is that their stock price is about $87.43 per share. Now, if we look at the 52-week range, one of the things that we can say is that in the last 52 weeks, it's been as low as $69, but it's been as high as $99. So right now, they are around the high 80s of $87 a share. Now, that doesn't automatically mean that, hey, they're supposed to jump back up to $99 at some point. You have to actually consider, hey, what's going on in the market. Have to actually consider how the business is performing and really making a judgment call of, do we think the price is gonna go above $87 a share? And I would say for a big company like this to see a big jump in their stock price, something big would have to happen, whether that be they release a new drug or they win an extremely big contract or something. And based on what's going on with Novartis right now, or what we have information and insight to, I don't necessarily see that happening right now. So when it comes to the stock price, there's no indicators that I've seen that say that this is going to make a big jump. Now, another area to consider is the dividend. Now, right now, Novartis issues about a $3 per share dividend. So if you're looking at I guess you'd say a somewhat stable stock to buy and that you can hold on to and you can generate a dividend income, this may be a good considerable stock or a good stock to consider. So when it comes down to the growth area, I would say the grade I give this one is a B. So when we think about this, the products we gave an A. And with the products, because they're solving a big problem. And then when we looked at the financials, because they've been able to manage their costs and keep strong profit margins, we gave their financials an A as well. And then when we looked at the growth, because the stock price is pretty high and it's going to take something pretty big for that stock price to grow. And the fact that they do have a dividend, which is good, we gave their growth category a B, which rounds their overall score out to an A-. Again, when you're looking to invest, you always want to make sure you do your homework. And on this show, we get you started by doing a little bit of the homework up front for you. But you have to think about what's right for your portfolio.